Okay, so recently I was on Threads and someone asked, what's the worst part of being a social media manager right now? And I responded that no one really seems to care about the impact that this work has on our mental health. So I've been on the internet since I was like 13. I'm talking AOL, Friendster, MySpace, Neopets. I am quite literally a millennial digital native and have made an entire career out of being online. I remember when I was coming up in the early days of social media marketing. Because it was a newer field of work, I was having a really hard time getting people to take the job and the toll it took on me seriously. My bosses definitely didn't really get what I was complaining about, and I was often a social media team of one, which was exhausting. And I had a very high visibility job that everyone seemed to have critiques about, but no one wanted to actually pour resources into. Baby, your girl was out here struggling. There was even a time when I literally had a panic attack under a conference room table because the Instagram account I created for my employer got deleted. And I will never forget the time that I had my period for 30 days due to stress. Or the time that I ended up in the hospital because my body was starting to shut down from the anxiety.
Oh my God!
And honestly, a lot of this was the catalyst to me wanting to leave the social media industry altogether. All that to say, I definitely think that now I can attribute a lot of that chaos to lack of boundaries in the workplace. However, I think there's something to be said about the lack of mental health support for social media professionals who make their living from being always on. Whether you're a marketer, creator, or influencer, we have to acknowledge that this work is not light work. The demand burns people out, and the often toxic nature of social media contributes to stress, anxiety, depression, and so much more. Which is why I have a personal goal of retiring from social media by 40. I got 7 years left. So I say all that to say, if we're not careful, this industry will burn through its brightest, most creative people. Which is why I wanted to make this the very first conversation in my upcoming Chronically Online Virtual Social Media Summit. On June 30th, which is Social Media Day, I am bringing together some of my favorite social media professionals to have a conversation about the burnout epidemic in social media. And we're not just talking about what it feels like, but what's causing it and what needs to change at the industry level. And this is just one of many topics that we're yapping about. Check out my caption for details on how to register. At the end of the day, the challenges of working in this industry isn't a you problem. It never was. We have a long way to go, and it simply starts with having a conversation, openly, honestly, and without shame.